is, do we produce enough for ourselves? That's the ultimate question. So before we formally start the Q&A, let me first introduce our very special guest for our virtual event. He is a hospitality consultant, a businessman, a motivational speaker, a TBI survivor, and a firm believer of the line, keep moving forward. I take it we'll learn more about that as we go along. So we're honored to have you join us. Please welcome Chris Dietrich.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris, for agreeing to be a part of our activity. So personally,
Perfect.
I'm excited and nervous at the same time, but I know this will be an exceptional experience for all of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here to share a little bit of my journey and my strong belief in self-love and self-confidence and belief.
Yay! So, like what I said earlier, talking about self-love is very timely, and I believe that every time is a perfect time to talk about it. And with Chris here, let's start. Yay! So,
Perfect.
let's start with telling us a bit about you.
So my name is Chris Dietrich. You got my last name right, which is great. I am from New Jersey in the United States, and when I was 18 years old, I was in a very severe car accident and suffered a traumatic brain injury, a TBI. And I was in a coma for a month, and I was paralyzed on the right side of my body for a number of months post-injury. And ever since I can remember being able to think again and be able to process what was going on with me, I've stuck to the principle of keep moving forward, as you mentioned that, and have used it and used a feeling of self-confidence and a need to be the best that I can be in every situation to make it from a wheelchair to a cane to walking on my own, limping very severely on my own, to moving from New Jersey to Miami, to go from Miami to Hong Kong, to Bangkok, and being able a little bit everywhere in between. And it's been always a constant feeling of, again, a belief in myself that has led me to continue to want to improve, to continue to keep moving forward over any obstacles to make it to where I am today, succeeding.
I watched your videos last night, and I said to myself, if if that happened to me, I wouldn't be that brave enough. And that was very brave of you to to have experienced and endured and surpassed most of those obstacles, and having lived on your own for 5 years in a total different country, like on the other side of the globe.
Yeah, in
that's
Bangkok.
that's a, it's a very, very courageous act on your end.
Thank you.
I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
If that happened to me, I'm not sure if I can even survive uh, that kind of situation.
You're not the first person to say basically that exact same thing, that, oh, I don't know if I could do it. I always tell people I tell people, hey, don't put yourself down yet, because me, prior to my injury, somebody had come to me on March 2nd, 2008, the day before my injury, and told me how the next 13 years of my life were going to go step by step, I would have told them that they were crazy as well, that there's no way that I would be able to do something of this sort either. And you'd be surprised at what each of us are able to accomplish if we follow a structure to continue moving and continue trying to improve and continuing to try to live life the best that we all can, to believe in ourselves.
Yes, I must agree. So, having experienced a lot and having shared a lot with other people, this activity might seem a bit different from what you are used to do or used to share, because this time you are the one being asked what is self-love, instead of you sharing the concept of it to other people. So let's start off with three questions, but these questions are related. So what for Chris is self-love? What does it mean to you? What does it look like, feel like, and act like? Having said that, what do you already love about yourself?
Okay, perfect. So, what is self love to me? Self love is, again, like I brought up, it's self belief, it's believing in myself, it's
Yes.
self confidence, it's having incredible confidence in myself that anything that I'm dealing with, I'm going to be able to get through it. You know, it's using past experiences and remembering past experiences and building on them. Times in the past that have been obviously very difficult for me, and seeing where I am today, seeing how much further I am along, that I'm moving forward, that I'm confident that anything that's going to happen now in the future is I'm going to be able to deal with it as well. That's what I believe self-love is. It's understanding yourself and being confident that anything that you have to deal with or you want to achieve, you're going to be able to if you keep working hard and you keep trying.
And given that, what do you
What
already
what do I
love
love about
about
myself?
yourself?
I what I love about myself most is the same thing that I've been able to accomplish a lot despite my difficulties that I've continued to overcome. You know, first goal, you know, I've been able to achieve goals through hard work and through dedication and through faith, through support of my family and my friends. You know, the first one back in 2008 when I wanted to get up out of my wheelchair to walk slowly, limp, or be dragged by my father across the stage to graduate high school, to get my high school diploma in front of all the other students and parents. You know, I love myself. That's what I love about myself. The I'm able to achieve the goals that I have set for myself, and that I have not let an injury that could have ruined my life, I have not let it do that. And not only that, I have used everything to enhance my life, to make everything as great as possible.
Did the pandemic change your current perspective of self-love? I mean, it impacted all of us, and not only those who lost people or who lost their jobs were greatly affected, but students as well. In some ways, or in more ways than one, they are affected by the ongoing global crisis. So, what did the pandemic do to make you change the way, or to at least um, to make you modify how you're currently loving yourself?
It I got to give everyone a reference. I live here in Bangkok. I went back to the United States for at the start of the pandemic back in March of 2020, and I got stuck there. I couldn't get out. I was staying at my family, my father's house, and when I couldn't do anything but be with myself, I guess it made me really concentrate on myself more. You know, it instead of relying on friendships or other relationships with other people, I really fell in love more so with myself. And I started to improve, to work on my body more. I started to improve myself physically, mentally, being able to really, more so physically, getting better at walking. And I got more involved with Instagram, with helping other people as well, motivating other people, and continuing to improve myself physically. And so while I was watching here in Thailand, I was seeing online that the pandemic had not hit here nearly as badly as the United States. All my friends were having fun like normal here, and it was certainly frustrating to not be able to be there. But I took the time, I sat back, I got better physically. And now that I'm back in Thailand and I'm walking better and all my friends can notice it, it makes me feel great that that time wasn't wasted. That time was used to enhance my life for the future. And it's something, I mean, the students, I couldn't imagine being 16 and being in high school and being stuck at home instead of being with my friends as I'm getting ready to be with them for the last time before I go to college. But again, that's the best way, is to really focus on improving yourself. So when you go back to school, when you're back with your classmates or your friends, they can see, wow, you're even better, you're even cooler or whatever, or better at this or that than you were before. And that's it. It will show off really well that you can get through anything, that you love yourself. Right.
Yes. Thank you. Now that you gave us your definition or what self-love is to you, let's talk about loving other people. What does it look like for you to love someone close to you? What does it feel like? How does loving someone close to you, may they be relative or may they be friends, feel like? How is that love being reciprocated as well?
I take love for other people as active love. I like using the term active love because I like to be present. I like the people that I love, I like to be there for them, not just say, and I love you doesn't really mean much of anything at all, but a real feeling. I talk to my family every day still, despite being 12 hours apart, 12-hour time difference apart. We work it out. Even my grandmother, for example, is the perfect example. She was so sad when I got the move that I was going to be moving to Thailand. We went out and we bought her a mini iPad and taught her how to FaceTime. I FaceTime with my grandma almost once, twice, 3 times a week, where again, I'm not just saying, oh, I love you. I'm not providing lip service. I'm actively loving my family and my close friends through always being there for them. And when I feel that same unconditional, or what I would consider active love, coming back at me, it feels great because it gives me more confidence that if I ever do need help, that somebody is always going to be there to help me.
And you may not be there physically, but at least it's the thought.
Right, exactly. It's the fact that I can get on my phone.
Think of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that other people are thinking of me too, and it makes me feel really good. Yeah.
Yes.
And so unconditional love I call active love. I think it's a more appropriate action word, because love for the people that you really care about, that you love, that you should show them that you do through action. Through actions. Actions speak louder than words. Certainly. Yes. What is something that you have always wanted to try but never have? This question, I had a hard time trying to come up with an answer for this, because again, ever since my injury, especially, one of the consequences from my brain injury is that I'm quick to act. I'm quick to act without necessarily always thinking through the consequences prior to. I'm trying to make it sound as good as possible. I'm impulsive, and it's gotten better, but I've been able to use that to my distinct advantage, because again, I'm confident that whatever I try, I'm going to be able to make it work, or that something good will come out of whatever situation I put myself in. So I couldn't really, I couldn't really think of anything that, the most challenging thing is probably in 2016 when I got an email saying, "Oh, Chris, congratulations, you're hired." I'm sitting in my apartment in Miami, Florida. "Chris, congratulations, you're hired. We want you to start working in Bangkok your first day of work's in 3 weeks. Congratulations, welcome."
That was
You know,
fast.
and without even a thought, okay, yes, I'm in. You know, this is going to be the coolest experience ever. I didn't know anything about Thailand. I didn't know anything about Bangkok other than the crazy stuff you see in the Hangover 2 movie.
Yeah, watch
Only,
that
yeah,
too.
exactly. Only the bad stuff, not how awesome the people are or anything like that. But, something like that can scare people.
You
But
don't
for me,
even know what's in store for you in Bangkok,
right,
right?
right, yeah. But for me, it's an opportunity. I push my limit. It makes me uh, get into self-love more because it helps to build more confidence. Helps me to build more confidence. You know, that's how I think that that's how I practice self-love. That I push my limit. You know, and that was the exact thing. You know, if I'm afraid of something, why not try it out? Why not actively go for it? Rather, it's being in a crowd of people, for example, with a bunch of strangers. If you see an interesting person sitting next to you or down the side, it's rather than think, oh man, imagine how cool it would be or what could happen if I went and talked to that person. Just go for it. You know what? The worst thing that's going to happen is that you don't end up being friends with he or she, but you move forward and you go on to the next one. At least you tried, you made an effort. And that should make you more proud of yourself. You should have more confidence in yourself after you do something like that.
So
Yeah.
it revolves risk taking, or it involves risk taking.
Right. Pushing limits, pushing your limits. Again, yeah. Risk taking makes it seem because I'm not an advocate for doing something that could harm you. That, you know what I mean? I'm not, yeah, but pushing your own personal limits just a little bit to see if you can do it. Be flexible with yourself and with your, again, limitations, in that it will help you get stronger. It will help you gain more confidence. And again, for me, confidence and self-belief is what it's all about.
Pushing your limits, exerting effort. Is there anything you're like holding on to or are afraid to let go of that isn't serving you anymore? I mean, there are times wherein you exerted effort, but it's just not working anymore.
Yeah. Again, that's with people as well, because I try to invest myself in others as much as I can, to expecting it, bringing out the best in others by being the best for other people. You're hoping, or with the experiences that I've had, most of the time you get the best from them back to you, which is great. But sometimes if you really invest yourself in someone but they're not coming back, it's hard to let go. It's hard because being an optimistic kind of a person, you're like, I've got to give them one more chance, because I feel like it could be really helpful for me in the future if they do come back and become a really close friend or ally. But again, the same thing, while it's difficult to let go, I wouldn't go as far as to say that because it's no longer serving me. I can use that experience to my distinct advantage moving forward. That's where, that's what the big thing, again, I had an answer for this question, but then before this call, I'm like, you know what, it still is serving me in a way, because you take the disappointing feeling of something or someone not coming to the table like you expected, but you flip that feeling and use it as motivation for moving forward, for looking for the next best thing, for taking whatever mistake you made or learning from it, and knowing that you have to try again in order to get over that feeling, and going for the next person or going for the next accomplishment. That can make all the difference, and that will help you to gain confidence for the future.
So
And then you'll totally forget, you'll look back, you'll think back like, oh, wow, that used to make me upset. And now, come on, it's nothing. I'm here now.
yes, it's also a matter of not giving up, right?
Certainly. Yeah. And that, right. If it doesn't work out once, take what you learned and keep going forward for the future.
And you've tried already. I mean, you already started doing it. So why not
Keep going.
keep going? Yeah.
Yeah.
And be there at the finish line, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
Yes. So how do you live the moment currently?
How do I live in the moment? I live in the moment by experiencing life. I by pushing my limits. Exactly that. That's what I love about living in international cities such as Bangkok, for example. I mean, I've been here for 5 years now, but every day it's still something new. New, exciting things are always happening. Whether I'm trying to think of an example. I don't have a specific example. It's putting me too much on the spot, but it's it's pushing my limit and seeing myself accomplish whatever goal or whatever activity that I've just tried to do, that I get through it, that I get over it, that and what you learn from that can be anything. And it's very exciting that by staying present, by staying in the moment, that's how you live well.
I see.
If that's okay.
Yeah. So I take it our students should also try to live the moment, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Live the moment, push your limits, keep moving
Do
forward.
not be afraid to push your
Exactly.
limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
exactly it.
and
Yeah.
like what you said earlier, as long as it will not do you any harm, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Push your limits. Be responsible about it, though. At the same time. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I guess we've reached the end of our Q&A. So this is the part that I really like the most. Any words of encouragement for our students?
Again, the biggest thing is being confident in yourself, that you are able to accomplish amazing, amazing things that currently you probably can't even imagine that you can do. I go back to what I was saying, March 2nd, 2008, the day before my traumatic brain injury, where I was in a coma for a month, and then the future. If a magic genie had rubbed his lamp and told me, fortune teller, oh, Chris, in 13 years, you're going to have done this, this, and you're going to have had a traumatic brain injury. He could have told me that I would have been in China, then Hong Kong, then Bangkok, and I would have thought it was crazy, even as 100% able-bodied, let alone to have suffered the injury that I've suffered. So it's incredible what you're going to be able to accomplish, everyone, as long as you believe in yourself and you're confident, you push your limits, and you keep moving forward. You're always going for the next thing. You're not letting anything hold you back. Anything that's disappointing, use that disappointing feeling as fuel, as fire for you to push forward and make that bad feeling turn into a good feeling.
Yes. And you said believing in oneself, it's the perfect starting point for someone to be able to love fully, right? If you believe in yourself, then you also believe in other people, and that
Correct.
will lead to something more. I mean, it will grow. I mean, the feelings will grow from there, right?
Correct, exactly. Again, it all starts with self-belief, which equals self-confidence, which equals self-love.
Which we should nurture.
Yes.
And children or kids of this generation should also take note of.
Yeah, exactly. Again, in such a social media era, it's easy to get caught up on what on the grass is always greener on the other side kind of thing. And I get caught up in it too, because we're all posting photos and videos and stuff of us enjoying our lives and things like that. And it's fair, because that's what we should be. We should be celebrating happiness and things, but be confident in yourself that even if someone over there looks like life is all dandelions and roses and happiness, that we can get there too. Even if we're not there yet, you can aspire to it and you can achieve anything as long as you believe.
And self-love isn't always, or knowing how to love yourself isn't always in the books, right? Sometimes answers are not found in self-help books, but in experience.
Yeah, it's experience. It's going through an experience, then looking back 1 year, 6 months in the future, and seeing how much further you are today than you were back then. And that's what breeds self-love, self-confidence. That's an incredibly important point, I guess, that have have a memory that you can look back at, like, wow, I was there and look at me now. For me, it's simple. I woke up and I was laying in a hospital bed and I was paralyzed. It's easy for me to have that perspective, but everyone can have that perspective in their own lives. Challenges and trouble is all relative. So whether it's something as catastrophic as mine, where I was again paralyzed, to today where my life is really good and I'm succeeding, or if it's just you had a bad breakup in high school or whatever, use that negative feeling that was in the past to where you are today and see how far you have come. And that should make you start to love yourself more than you already are.
Yes.
And you should be gaining more and more confidence and moving forward off of that. And using that confidence to fuel yourself to build more confidence and try to do more new things that you'll be able to accomplish in the future.
Turning the negative into positive. Yeah, I so agree.
Huge,
Yeah.
flip it. Huge.
That was one of a kind Q&A. I might do this again live.
Cool, I hope
might do
so.
this again, but the next time it'll be live. I just hope that I have the necessary bandwidth for it. What do you think?
All right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again for gracing us with your virtual presence. Oh, by the
Thank
way,
you.
how do we find you?
The best
What are
way,
your social media platforms?
I post the most on Instagram, because that's how I've been able to build a good presence with the brain injury community and just with people overall. And my hashtag, my handle is CD for my initials _ worldwide. CD _ worldwide. And I'd love for everyone to. I'm sorry.
I'll be also placing it on the description box.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I'd love for everyone to
listen you too. Yes. And what you shared with us, we really appreciate. Thank you so much. And
walang anuman.
Maraming salamat. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you once again in the near future. We have a lot of activities like this lined up until the next school year, that is.
Post-COVID time, when I can travel down to the Philippines, I'll be there. I'll be the first one on the plane.
Please visit Nueva Ecija. That's how our province is called. So it's somewhere up north, but it's a beautiful place.
All right.
Not as beautiful as Bangkok, but it's beautiful in its own way.
That's fantastic too.